Once upon a time, in the crystal kingdom of Arivelle, there lived a kind-hearted princess named Elara. Her palace sparkled with glass towers and golden lights, and the people of her land adored her gentle nature. But even in all her beauty and grace, Elara often felt lonely. Every night, she dreamed of a golden bird that sang a song of friendship and love. She wondered if the bird was trying to tell her something, or if perhaps it was guiding her towards someone she had yet to meet. Far away, across mountains and rivers, lived Prince Adrien, a brave young prince with a heart as noble as his sword was strong. One stormy evening, Adrien was lost in the enchanted forest. His horse wandered off the path, and just as fear began to take hold, a familiar sound lifted the darkness, the sweet song of a golden bird. The bird fluttered its glowing wings, and Adrien followed it. Step by step, it led him through the twisting forest, across a silver bridge, and finally, to the gates of Arivelle. In the moonlit garden of the palace, Princess Elara was walking among the roses when the golden bird landed upon her shoulder, and behind it stepped Prince Adrien. Their eyes met, filled with surprise and wonder. "You followed the golden bird too?" Elara asked softly. "Yes," Adrien replied, bowing respectfully. "It has been guiding me since I lost my way. I think it brought me here for a reason." They sat beneath the glowing trees, talking until the stars faded into dawn. They discovered that their dreams, their hopes, and their hearts were alike. Both longed for peace in their kingdoms, and both believed in kindness above all. But not everyone rejoiced in their meeting. In a shadowed tower, a jealous sorceress named Morwenna watched through her crystal orb. She had always desired Adrien's kingdom for herself, and the golden bird's magic was the one thing standing in her way. With a sweep of her cloak, she captured the bird in a cage of dark fire. The moment the bird was trapped, the skies dimmed, flowers in Arivelle drooped, and even the rivers lost their shimmer. Princess Elara felt it at once. "The golden bird is in danger," she whispered. Adrien drew his sword. "Then together, we will save it." Their journey was long and full of trials. First, they crossed the river of mirrors, where the water showed not reflections but fears. Elara saw herself forever lonely, while Adrien saw himself failing his people. But they clasped hands tightly and whispered, "We are stronger together," and the river let them pass. Next, they climbed the mountain of storms, where roaring winds tried to pull them apart. Yet Adrien shielded Elara with his cloak, and Elara's song calmed the storm until the clouds parted. At last, they reached Morwenna's dark tower, its walls crawling with shadows. Inside, the sorceress laughed. "Love is weak compared to power," she hissed. "This bird's light is mine forever." But Elara stepped forward bravely. "Love is the greatest power of all, and you cannot steal it." Adrien raised his shining sword, while Elara lifted her crystal pendant. Together, they called upon the golden bird. From within the cage, the bird's song grew louder and brighter until it shattered the chains of shadow. The golden light filled the tower, chasing away every trace of darkness. Morwenna screamed as her spells broke, vanishing into nothing but smoke. The bird flew free, circling around Elara and Adrien, its song sweeter than ever before. And in that moment, both kingdoms were healed. The flowers bloomed, the rivers sparkled again, and the skies filled with morning light. Elara looked at Adrien and smiled. "The golden bird brought us together for a reason." Adrien bowed and took her hand. "And together, we will keep its light safe forever." Soon after, the two kingdoms joined in celebration. Princess Elara and Prince Adrien were crowned side by side, rulers not only of their lands but of their people's hearts. The golden bird remained by their side, singing songs of hope, peace, and everlasting love. And so, they lived happily ever after, united by courage, kindness, and the strongest magic of all, love and friendship.
Once upon a time, in the shining kingdom of Lunaria, there lived a gentle and kind princess named Aria. She was loved by her people, not only because she was beautiful, but because she had a brave heart and always cared for everyone in the land. Every morning, Princess Aria would walk through the royal gardens, talking to the flowers, feeding the doves, and listening to the whispers of the wind. But one morning, something strange caught her eye. Beneath a silver rose bush hidden under soft petals, she saw a faint glow. Curious, she knelt down and uncovered an ancient crystal staff. The staff glittered with rainbow light, and to her surprise, it whispered softly, "Princess, the kingdom needs your light." Startled, Aria carried the staff to the castle library, where the wise old scholar Master Cedric studied ancient magic. "This," he said, adjusting his spectacles, "is the legendary Staff of Light, once held by the first queen of Lunaria. It holds the power to protect our land. But remember, Princess, the staff's true strength does not come from magic alone. It comes from kindness and courage." That very evening, a terrible shadow spread across the skies. The evil sorcerer Malcor rose from the mountains, wielding a staff of black fire. "Lunaria will fall," he thundered. With one strike, he covered the kingdom in endless night. The sun disappeared, the rivers grew dark, and flowers wilted in fear. The people rushed to the palace gates, frightened. Princess Aria stepped onto the balcony, holding the glowing staff. "Do not be afraid," she called. "I will bring back the light." With her loyal unicorn Starfall, whose mane shone like starlight, Aria rode into the Forest of Echoes, the first place Malcor's shadows had touched. The trees whispered haunting voices. "You are too weak. You will fail. Turn back." But Aria gripped her staff. "I am not afraid," she said. The crystal lit up, casting a circle of light that silenced the voices. Starfall neighed proudly, and together they pressed on. At the forest's edge lay a broken bridge across a deep canyon. Shadow creatures with glowing red eyes blocked the way. Starfall trembled, his hooves skidding back. Aria raised her staff. "Kindness is stronger than fear." She struck the ground, and the staff released a rainbow path across the canyon. The shadows hissed and vanished into mist, unable to fight against her courage. At last, they reached the Mountain of Fire, where Malcor's dark magic burned strongest. Inside the cave, flames danced on black stone walls. Malcor appeared, tall and menacing. His eyes glowed with fire. "You think a child with a stick can defeat me?" he mocked. "This is no ordinary stick," Aria said firmly. "This is the Staff of Light, and it carries the hope of my people." With a wave of his staff, Malcor hurled fireballs at her. Starfall shielded her, and Aria lifted her staff high. Golden beams of light clashed against Malcor's flames, filling the cave with sparks of shadow and light. The cave trembled as the staffs collided. Malcor shouted, "Darkness will always win," but Aria stood tall. "No, darkness cannot win where there is love." Her words filled the crystal staff with brilliant power. Light exploded from it, brighter than the sun, forming a rainbow beam that struck Malcor's dark staff. Crack! The dark staff shattered into pieces, and Malcor screamed as the shadows vanished, leaving only silence and peace. As Aria stepped out of the cave, the dark clouds above Lunaria broke apart. Sunlight poured down, rivers sparkled again, and flowers bloomed brighter than ever. The people cheered as their princess returned, riding Starfall with the staff glowing gently in her hand. In the palace, Aria placed the magical staff in the Hall of Queens, where it would rest until Lunaria truly needed it again. From that day on, the people of Lunaria remembered. True power does not come from magic or weapons. It comes from kindness, bravery, and believing in yourself. And so, Princess Aria lived happily ever after, protecting her kingdom with love, courage, and light.
Once upon a time, in a kingdom filled with sparkling rivers, talking animals, and castles that touched the clouds, there lived a kind and beautiful princess named Aurelia. Her heart was pure as sunlight, and she had a gift wherever she sang. Flowers bloomed and birds danced in the air. But deep in the shadowy forest lived a jealous witch named Morgana. She envied Aurelia's kindness and magical voice. One stormy night, Morgana cast a powerful spell and locked the princess in a tall, enchanted tower made of black stone. The tower had no doors, only one high window, guarded by thorns and magical beasts. The kingdom fell into sadness. The flowers stopped blooming, the rivers grew quiet, and even the sun seemed dimmer. Far away, in a neighboring kingdom, lived a brave prince named Leonard. When he heard of Princess Aurelia's plight, he saddled his white horse Starfire and promised to bring her back. On his journey, Prince Leonard faced many trials. The River of Whispers. A magical river tried to trick him with voices calling his name. But Leonard trusted his heart and followed the true path. The Forest of Shadows. A place where trees moved like monsters. With the help of a clever squirrel, Pip, he found the way out. The Cave of Flames, guarded by a mighty dragon. Instead of fighting, Leonard bravely sang a gentle lullaby, calming the dragon, who then let him pass. Each adventure tested his courage, kindness, and wisdom. Finally, Leonard reached the enchanted tower. Morgana appeared in a swirl of green smoke, laughing wickedly. "You cannot defeat me, boy! The princess will stay mine forever!" she hissed. But Leonard, remembering the power of Aurelia's voice, took out his silver flute and played a melody of hope. From the high window, Aurelia heard him and began to sing. Their music blended together, breaking Morgana's spell. With a burst of golden light, the thorns melted away, the tower's stones crumbled, and Aurelia was free. The wicked witch vanished in a puff of smoke, never to return. The kingdom rejoiced as Princess Aurelia returned. Flowers bloomed brighter than ever, rivers sparkled, and birds filled the sky with song. Prince Leonard and Princess Aurelia became the best of friends, and together they promised to bring light and kindness wherever they went. And so, with laughter, music, and endless adventures, they lived happily ever after.
Once upon a time, in a quiet little village, there lived a sweet young girl everyone called Little Red Riding Hood. She always wore a bright red cloak with a hood, lovingly sewn by her grandmother. One sunny morning, her mother said, "Grandma isn't feeling well today. Please take this basket of fresh bread, honey, and warm soup to her. But remember, my dear, stay on the path and don't talk to strangers." Little Red Riding Hood nodded cheerfully and set off through the forest. In the forest, birds chirped, squirrels scampered, and Little Red Riding Hood hummed a happy tune. But soon, a sly gray wolf stepped onto the path. "Good morning, little girl," the wolf said with a fake smile. "Where are you going?" "To my grandmother's cottage, deep in the woods," she replied innocently. The wolf's eyes glimmered with a cunning idea. He thought, "If I hurry, I can reach Grandma's house first." So, pretending to be polite, he said, "What lovely flowers grow here. Why not pick some for your grandmother?" Little Red Riding Hood smiled at the thought and stopped to gather a colorful bouquet. Meanwhile, the wolf raced down the path faster than the wind. At Grandma's house, the wolf knocked gently on the door. "Who is it?" called Grandma weakly. "It's me, Little Red Riding Hood," the wolf said, disguising his voice. But Grandma wasn't fooled. Her heart told her something was wrong. Quick as a flash, she climbed into a closet to hide. The wolf entered, finding the house empty. But he was clever. He put on Grandma's bonnet, glasses, and shawl, then tucked himself into her bed. Soon after, Little Red Riding Hood arrived, holding her basket and flowers. "Grandma, are you awake?" she asked, stepping inside. "Yes, my dear," the wolf croaked, trying to sound gentle. Little Red Riding Hood came closer. Something seemed strange. "Grandma, what big eyes you have!" "All the better to see you with, my dear," the wolf answered. "Grandma, what big ears you have!" "All the better to hear you with." "Grandma, what big teeth you have!" The wolf leaped from the bed, growling. "All the better to eat you with." But just then, bang, thud, crash. Grandma burst from the closet with a broom and shouted, "Not in my house!" Startled, the wolf stumbled backward. Just then, a kind woodcutter passing by heard the noise, rushed in, and chased the wolf far into the forest. The wolf never dared to bother them again. Little Red Riding Hood hugged her grandmother tightly. "Oh, Grandma, I should have listened and stayed on the path." Grandma smiled and kissed her forehead. "You're safe, my dear. That's what matters. And now, let's enjoy some warm soup together." And from that day on, Little Red Riding Hood always remembered: listen to your parents, stay safe, and be careful with strangers. And they all lived happily ever after. One peaceful evening in Arendelle, Elsa stood on the castle balcony when she heard something unusual: soft whispers floating through the night breeze. "Elsa, come find us," the voices called gently. Elsa frowned. That wasn't the wind. Anna, munching on chocolate nearby, tilted her head. "Whispers? In the wind? Sounds like an adventure to me." Olaf popped up, excited as ever. "Oh, maybe it's the chocolate fairies calling you. Can I come too?" The next morning, the sisters set out, following the mysterious whispers into the enchanted forest. The deeper they went, the stranger things became. Trees that glowed with moonlight, flowers that hummed like lullabies, and streams that sparkled like stars. Suddenly, a silvery wolf appeared, but instead of growling, it bowed its head. "Queen Elsa, Princess Anna, the Forest of Dreams needs your help." The wolf explained that the forest magic was fading because the dream crystal, a gem that kept imagination alive, had been stolen. Without it, children everywhere would stop dreaming at night. Anna gasped. "No dreams? No bedtime adventures? That's terrible." Elsa placed a hand on her sister's shoulder. "Then we'll bring it back." The wolf guided them to the Cave of Echoes, where they faced 3 magical trials: the Bridge of Vanishing Light. Each step they took made the bridge disappear. Anna bravely held Elsa's hand and said, "Trust me." Together they ran and leapt, making it across just in time. The riddle of the singing owls. A chorus of glowing owls blocked the way. They asked, "What is stronger than fear, but gentle as snow?" Anna thought hard, then smiled. "Love." The owls hooted happily and let them pass. The shadow of doubt. A giant shadow rose, whispering, "You are not strong enough." Elsa took a deep breath, remembering Anna's courage. With a wave of her icy magic, she formed a shield of snowflakes. "We are strong together." At the heart of the cave, they found the dream crystal, glowing faintly in the claws of a sleepy shadow dragon. Instead of fighting, Anna softly sang a lullaby, calming the dragon. Gently, Elsa froze the shadows away, and the dragon returned to being a harmless little lizard. When they placed the crystal back in the forest, the trees lit up like fireworks, and sparkling dreams floated back into the sky. That night, as they returned to Arendelle, Olaf yawned. "I think I'm already dreaming," and fell asleep standing up. Anna giggled. "Another adventure saved, thanks to us." Elsa smiled warmly. "And thanks to love." In that dream world, Leora met Prince Adrien, a gentle prince who rode a snow-white horse. He bowed and said, "I have been searching for the chosen one, the girl who can become the fairy of dreams. You are the one." He explained that people across the lands had lost hope. Children forgot to smile. Old men feared the future, and dreamers had stopped believing. Only someone pure of heart could bring their dreams back. But before she could become a fairy, Leora had to pass 3 trials in the dream world. The Trial of Kindness. She found a crying child who had lost his toy. Instead of searching for her own way, she spent her time comforting him, proving her gentle heart. The Trial of Courage. A dark shadow appeared in the orchard, whispering fears into her ears. But she stood tall and said, "Dreams are stronger than fear." The shadow disappeared. The Trial of Hope. She saw her old parents looking tired and worried. She hugged them and whispered, "One day I will bring you peace." The trial vanished, leaving only starlight. At the end of the trials, the prince touched her hand and said, "Leora, you are ready." A swirl of glowing apple blossoms surrounded her. Her simple dress turned into a shimmering gown made of stardust, and silver wings blossomed from her back. A sparkling wand appeared, shaped like an apple flower. She had become the Fairy of Dreams. From that night on, Leora visited people in their sleep. She brought sweet dreams to children, courage to the weak, and hope to the sad. To her parents, she gave dreams of peace and rest. To Prince Adrien, she gave dreams of wisdom to rule kindly. To her village, she gave dreams of joy and unity. Wherever she flew, dreams blossomed like flowers in the night. The people of the kingdom began calling her the Fairy of Dreams, who fulfilled heart's deepest wishes. Leora realized her dream was not just for herself, but for everyone. And every morning, when the sun rose over the apple garden, her parents would find blossoms glowing on the trees, a sign that their daughter, the Fairy of Dreams, had been there, watching over them. And so, Leora lived forever as the fairy who brought hope, courage, and dreams to the world.
Long ago, beyond the Silver Mountains, there was a hidden kingdom called Lunaria. It was a place of wonder, where glowing flowers lit the night, rivers sang with music, and fairies danced in the skies. Ubid, in this kingdom lived a kind princess named Seraphina. She was unlike any other princess because she carried a gift: the ability to speak with fairies. Her best friend was Leora, the crystal fairy, who sparkled like a star and carried magic dust that could heal anything. But one day, a dark sorcerer named Malvorn stole the Crystal of Light, the heart of Lunaria. Without it, the kingdom began to fade, the glowing flowers wilted, the music of the rivers went silent, and the fairies lost their power. Princess Seraphina, with her courage, set out on a quest to restore her land. Along the way, she met Prince Kale, a brave adventurer who could command the winds with his sword, Dot. He joined her, promising to help bring back the light. Together, they faced enchanted forests full of whispering trees, crossed bridges guarded by trolls, and solved riddles given by talking owls. Each step tested their kindness and bravery. At last, they reached Malvorn's shadowy fortress. The sorcerer laughed, swirling darkness around them. "You cannot defeat me. The Crystal of Light is mine." But Seraphina held out her hand to Leora, the Crystal Fairy. With a burst of courage, Leora sprinkled her shimmering dust, and Kale raised his sword, calling upon the power of the winds. Their magic combined with Seraphina's pure heart, forming a brilliant rainbow light that shattered Malvorn's darkness. He, the Crystal of Light, returned to its place, glowing brighter than ever. Lunaria bloomed once again, the flowers sang, rivers sparkled, and the fairies danced freely in the skies. The people of Lunaria cheered, and Princess Seraphina was hailed as the bravest of all. She and Prince Kale became protectors of the kingdom, ensuring that kindness, courage, and friendship would always shine brighter than darkness. And from that day on, Lunaria remained the most magical kingdom in all the lands.
Once upon a time, in a shining golden castle, there lived a kind and beautiful princess named Lila. She loved to play in the royal gardens, where bright flowers bloomed and butterflies danced. One sunny morning, Princess Lila sat by the sparkling fountain, holding her favorite golden ball. She tossed it high into the air, giggling. But plop! The ball slipped from her hands and fell into the deep fountain. "Oh no!" she cried. "My favorite ball is gone!" Just then, a little green frog hopped onto the fountain's edge. "Why are you sad, princess?" he asked politely. Princess Lila gasped. "You can talk!" the frog chuckled. "Yes, I can. And I can help you too. If I fetch your golden ball, will you promise to be my friend? Let me sit with you, eat with you, and share your company?" Princess Lila didn't really want a frog as a friend, but she was desperate. "Yes, I promise," she said. With a splash, the frog dove into the fountain and quickly popped back up with the golden ball. Lila clapped her hands in joy and ran back to the castle with her ball, forgetting her promise. That evening, as the princess dined in the grand hall, a soft knock, knock, knock echoed at the door. When the servants opened it, there was the frog. "Princess Lila," he croaked, "you promised to let me eat with you." Lila felt guilty but remembered her words. She gently placed the frog beside her plate. Though the king and queen were surprised, they reminded her, "A true princess always keeps her promises." The frog ate happily, then asked, "May I sleep on your pillow tonight, princess?" Lila hesitated but nodded. That night, she placed the frog carefully on her pillow. As she lay down, the frog whispered, "Thank you for being kind. Good night, princess." When the first rays of morning sunlight touched her cheeks, Princess Lila opened her eyes and gasped. The frog was gone. In his place stood a handsome prince, smiling warmly. He bowed and said, "I was under a wicked spell. Only the kindness of a true princess could break it. Because you kept your promise, I am free." Overjoyed, Princess Lila and Prince Adrien became the best of friends. Together, they laughed, explored magical lands, and shared many adventures. And so, the princess learned that kindness and keeping your word are the truest forms of magic. And they lived happily ever after.
Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Aurora Vale, there lived a gentle princess named Isabella. She was gifted with a magical power. Whenever she touched a flower, it bloomed brighter than the sun. The people adored her, for her gardens kept the kingdom beautiful and full of life. But in the dark mountains nearby, an envious sorceress named Morwenna hated Isabella's gift. She cast a curse over the land, turning all the flowers into stone. The once colorful kingdom became gray and lifeless. One evening, while Isabella wept in the garden, a mysterious young man appeared. He was Prince Elias from a faraway kingdom. He, too, had a secret gift. He could summon light from his hands, powerful enough to chase away shadows. "Don't lose hope, princess," Elias said kindly. "Together, we can break this curse." The princess and prince set off on a magical quest. They traveled through whispering forests, across glowing rivers, and into caves sparkling with crystal light. Along the way, Isabella's kindness won the friendship of a talking owl and a playful unicorn who joined their journey. At last, they reached Morwenna's dark tower. The sorceress laughed wickedly. "You cannot defeat me. My magic is stronger than both of you." But Isabella held up a single enchanted rose, the only flower left alive in the kingdom. With her touch, it glowed with pure magic. Prince Elias raised his hands, filling the room with blinding light. Together, their powers merged light and nature, weaving into one brilliant force. "Goodness and hope are stronger than your darkness," Isabella cried. The spell shattered with a thunderous boom. The stone flowers across the kingdom burst back into life, painting Aurora Vale with brilliant colors. Habble, habble, have. Morwenna disappeared into shadows, never to return. From that day, Prince Elias and Princess Isabella ruled side by side. Their powers combined to protect the kingdom. Wherever they went, flowers bloomed and light shone, reminding everyone that love, kindness, and courage are the greatest magic of all. And so, they lived happily ever after.